Welcome back to The Last Sip. Deb Haaland is at first glance a standard first-time progressive Democratic candidate running for Congress on issues like healthcare, renewable energy, and a higher minimum wage. But if she wins her seat to represent New Mexico's 1st congressional district, she will be the first Native woman ever to be elected in the history of the United States to the nation's legislative branch. Deb, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You're part of a wave this year of Native American candidates for office. What do you think is behind this trend, and what do you think it says about this political moment?
You know, after President Trump got elected and he took office in 2017, we had the Women's March. I think that gave a whole lot of courage and power to women across the country. And I think this is part of that. I've been involved in politics in New Mexico for a long, long time, close to 20 years. And I just worked really hard, and I just felt it was time.
And one of the interesting things about your race is that you are a woman of color who's also facing off primarily against another woman of color, Antoinette Zedillo Lopez. That sets up an interesting dynamic. So I'm wondering, how do you plan to win your race, and what distinguishes you from your candidate?
Well, I can say right off the bat, one thing that distinguishes me from any candidate in this race currently is the fact that I'm the only candidate who went to Standing Rock in North Dakota and stood with the water protectors. I have a long record of standing up for the environment. I have a long record of getting Democrats elected in this state. I was the chairwoman of the Democratic Party of New Mexico. I also have run a statewide campaign prior to this. I ran for lieutenant governor in 2014. Aside from my professional history, I have a very long and strong history of activism in the state, and feel like that is helping me a great deal.
One of the things that I think is also interesting about your particular race is the fact that it is intersectional in a lot of ways. And to me, one of the ways in which that's shown up is the range of endorsements that you've gotten. So, for instance, from the Congressional Black Caucus, from Planned Parenthood, from 350.org, that it seems as if part of your race is understanding the fact that these social issues are all connected in a certain way. Can you talk a little bit about how that is a part of the way that you're running, and if that's a model you think for other candidates across the country at this particular time?
We started this campaign and we told ourselves that we needed to build a national campaign. Congressional races are very expensive. It's just the unfortunate, one of the unfortunate things about politics is that you have to raise a lot of money. I have always worked very hard to be very inclusive. And so this inclusivity is something that I took very seriously. And that's anywhere from my endorsements to the interns that we recruit to work in our campaign, to my campaign staff. I feel very strongly that all of us need to stick together, all us underrepresented groups, all of us folks who are working hard to have a seat at the table. We all need to stick together and make sure that our voices are heard. And so that's definitely part of how I'm feeling about my campaign.
Mm-hmm. In every single political campaign that I have seen and been a part of in my own life, there are times when the candidate is just a spent force, is just sort of out of gas. And every single one of them in that moment has something that reignites their fuel. It's the thing that they always tell themselves when your hands hurt from shaking too many times, when you've been on the phone all day and you don't want to pick up the phone again, when you're missing another family event. What is that thing for you as a candidate?
And I haven't actually felt that this campaign. I wake up every morning, I'm excited about the day to come. I'm really ready to work very hard to make this happen. And one of the reasons is because I'm so excited about the opportunity to represent the people of this district. I know what it's like to struggle. I'm part of the 99% of the folks who have had to rely on food stamps, who are paying off their student loans, who haven't had a seat at the table.
What's the one thing that you want to make sure is done through your efforts or helped accomplish through your efforts?
I really am very serious about climate change in our country and in our world. And I would love for us to move toward 100% renewable energy. In a place like New Mexico with almost 300 days of sun per year, I think that is something that we can do. And I will work tirelessly to make sure that we are working toward a renewable energy economy, because I think that can not only fight climate change, but help us create thousands of jobs for people that need them, thousands of good paying jobs. So that is definitely something that is at the top of my list.
Well, you have a president who doesn't agree with you, so you'll have your work cut out for you. It won't be boring. Thank you for allowing us to take the time to speak with you. All the best to you in your endeavors, and everyone who works on your campaign. And have a terrific weekend. Thanks again for joining us.
Really enjoyed talking with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. We'll be right back.